Is the mountain coming back to Strongman? So Auntie Liz, on Thor's Twitch channel, he has announced that he's training for a powerlifting competition on the 3rd of December. I'm seeing some, deadlifts and squats that I started to think, this doesn't look like he's training for a boxing match. He looked like he'd kind of really focused his training into more of a strength phase. And he's gone and announced that he is going to do a powerlifting competition on the 3rd of December.
His target numbers are 400, 200, 400, which compared to what he's actually done, he did a 1,100 total in 2018. They're a little bit more reserved, but still world-class numbers, even in the world of strongman, where there aren't many that have done over 1,000.
No, the reality is not that many pro strongmen have been able to total 1,000 kilos. They certainly haven't tried to total. I think there's a lot of guys capable, but to actually go and do it is
something different.
Yeah, you've got to put it all together. And Thor, we know, has done 1,100 kilos. His numbers, he's looking at a 400 kilo squat, 400 kilo deadlift. Both of those are world-class numbers, and a 200 kilo bench. His drop in body weight, I feel, probably affecting his bench pressing the most.
So while there's no talk of him returning to strongman so far, if someone's going to get that strong, and we know his passion is strongman and not powerlifting, do you think maybe he's just testing the waters a little bit before something possibly in 2023?
I like to think so. Now, obviously, like you say, we don't know anything for sure, but the fact is he is training for a powerlifting comp, and he's training for a number way below something he's done in the past. So for me, if this was me, and I will use myself as an example because I'm thinking of doing OSG next year in the Masters, I am going to use a powerlifting competition as a stepping stone to get my strength back up. And I feel this could be what Thor is doing here. Now, I don't know for sure, this is just my thoughts, but if he's deadlifting 400 in powerlifting, squatting 400 in powerlifting, and benching 200, his all-round strength is going to be at a very, very decent level then to push to more specific strongman training. That type of strength, he's going to be competitive in a strongman competition, because a 400 kilo deadlift in powerlifting, much, much harder than a 400 kilo deadlift in a strongman comp where you can use straps and you can hitch. The powerlifting standards are much stricter in terms of how you have to pull. So if he's doing those kind of numbers, I think we could potentially see Thor do a competition down the road.
Now, we did ask him about this when we saw him in Dubai earlier this year for his fight with Eddie, and this is what he had to say.
Are we ever going to see you back in a strongman competition?
That was my question too.
That's a good question. I love the sport, but like I told your wife, I love my family more.
I understand that, mate. I'm all done with strongman, but
if I'll return to strongman, it would be just at this part of it, where I wouldn't have to.
You don't want to be 200 kilos anymore.
No, I'm done with that.
So you can see the passion's still there. He clearly says that he doesn't want to go back to the big, massive 200 plus kilos that he was when he pulled the 500 or was winning the Arnolds, etc. But Thor at 160 is a scary thought still, and I'm sure a lot of pro strongmen right now would be worried at the thought of Thor making a comeback.
So if he was to make a comeback, let's look realistically. What do we think he would come back for? So in order, I think Thor will only come back for a big show if he's to come back. He might do like Iceland. No, I don't know. I don't think he'd do Iceland.
Well, he's 10 times Iceland's strongest man. He's won he's won more Giants live shows than anyone else. 5-time winner of Europe's strongest man. He's won the Arnolds 3 times.
So that would be the first big competition on next year's calendar, the Arnolds. Now, we know he has a good relationship with the Arnolds. He was there last year just in a sort of casual personal appearance capacity. Do you think there's any appetite? Because that is, amongst strength fans, it's often regarded as the truest test of who is the strongest person in the world. Do you think that might appeal to him?
It could be a potential appeal. I know he likes the Arnolds. I think might be a little bit too soon to just walk into an invite at the Arnolds. I'm not sure he'd be able to do that. And also the Arnolds is the comp where arguably it's the heaviest competition in the world, and if he's not planning on getting back to his absolute best, I don't see him just turning up to make up numbers in that show.
No, he won't turn up to make up numbers anywhere. If he goes, he's going to win.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not saying he's going to win, but he wants to win.
He's got that mentality.
Yeah.
He's a real competitive athlete. Thor doesn't really just turn up to...
anything.
No, just to make up numbers. So I don't know that we'd see him in the Arnolds in 2023. World's Strongest Man is obviously the next big show. Now, the conversation for is that he's a one-time winner of Worlds. If he wants to go down as one of the greats, maybe he needs a few more world titles. But if I'm honest, with the way he's been about Worlds, I can't see Worlds being his competition that he comes back to.
And with that leak footage and everything, I just don't think the relationship there is going to be very
Unfortunately
good.
not.
No, I think you're right. I don't think we see... I would love to see him at Worlds because we're going to go, but I don't think we'll see him at Worlds.
No, unfortunately not. The show that I think potentially, if Thor's being serious about this, if he's using this as a building block and he does want to get back into Strongman, is the Rogue Invitational. The Rogue is happening in a few weeks' time for this year. As you said earlier, he has a great relationship with Rogue, and it's the one major show that he hasn't won.
Yeah. It didn't exist when he was at the peak. Well, it only came about last year, didn't it? So he's got the biggest purse in Strongman. Not that Thor needs it, but if, it might just be a nice one. And no one's going to turn it down either, are they?
Absolutely. And when you think of what he's won, Thor has literally won every major show. If there is a show that's going to kind of draw him back into Strongman, I think it's going to be that. And the Rogue Invitational is a good combination of events. And I think the excitement of potentially Thor coming back. I mean, he's not said he's coming back. This is us just kind of
theorizing.
Yeah, theorizing. But the potential of a Thor return, Kiliashkovsky returning.
Yes.
You've got Mitch Hooper and Nekonechny who have just burst onto the scene this year. Then you've got the likes of Lissis, the likes of Alexei, Tom Stoltman. There's just so many great strongmen out there.
And hopefully they're all doing Rogue next year. Because another thought that popped into my head was, I know a lot of strongman fans would say, what about the Shore Classic? But I think Thor will want to go where everyone is,
Yes.
and I think he'll choose the competition.
I think it's fair to say the Shore Classic is getting bigger, but it's not in the realm of those three comps right now.
Not yet, because we haven't had all the best guys there. Like, we haven't had Lissis and Stoltman's sort of training and peaking for it and all that kind of stuff. So I think Rogue is probably most likely. I wouldn't be surprised though if it was the Arnolds next year. I know you say it's a bit soon.
I think it's a little bit soon, but
if he's been strength training already,
one thing we know for sure is he's going to do a powerlifting comp in December. So before we get too excited, before I get kind of over the top and start kind of thinking Thor's coming back, let's see how he does in this competition. Let's see if he hits the numbers he set himself. 400 kilo squat and 400 kilo deadlift. They are big numbers to be going for in a comeback show, particularly trying to keep that body weight down. I mean, we say keep it down. He's still a big, huge human. Yeah. But he has lost a lot of weight from when he last did a strongman show. So interesting news to see. Thor Bjornsson could well be coming back to the strongman world. He is doing a powerlifting competition. If you follow his Twitch channel, you can see his training on there. I can't wait to see how he does, and I can't wait to see if the bug bites and we see him back in the strongman world in 2023.
So as always, guys, let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Would you want to see Thor back in strongman? And if so, which competition would you like to see him do? And of course, while you're here, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel for all of your strongman news and speculations.